Thank you.
Just a good clap. I kind of reassert the clap dominance.
Exactly.
This recipe is way more simplistic. It just involves very thinly sliced eggplant that's dredged in flour and then fried in olive oil. And then it's layered not with a sauce, but with just crushed tomatoes. I love eggplant, and if you love eggplant, then I think you will enjoy this method too. Hey there, I am Chef Jesse Griffiths, and I am the chef and owner at Due in Austin, Texas, and I'm going to make some eggplant parmesan in the manner that I was shown in Italy a long time ago. The first step is going to be to slice this eggplant. I want to do it very thinly, and this is going to make for kind of a lot of time for frying, but it'll be very much worth it to have these nice thin, almost crispy slices in this dish, which is essentially a casserole with a bunch of crispy eggplant inside it. What I want to do now is just kind of throw in a layer, sprinkle it with a little bit of salt. That's not necessarily to extract bitterness, like some people will say when you salt it, but I really want to just draw some of the moisture out of the eggplant so that the flour will adhere to it a little better. While this eggplant is standing with the salt on it and a little bit of that moisture is already starting to bead up on the outside, I'll go ahead and slice the mozzarella. I've got a nice piece of fresh mozzarella, and I'm just going to slice that into thin slices. Definitely not scientific about it. It's all going to just get melted and layered in there anyway. Now that this is done, we're going to flour the eggplant. Toss each one of these in flour, kind of dust off as much as you can, and set them aside. And we will try to get any excess flour off of them again right before they go into the oil. We really don't want that oil to develop a burnt flavor from a lot of flour sinking to the bottom of it and burning. But for right now, we can just do a quick dredge on both sides, and the flour is sticking very nicely to the eggplant because we've salted it. All right, we've got them all dredged in flour, and now it's time to take them over to the stovetop and fry them in olive oil. We've got our olive oil in the Dutch oven. We're going to need quite a bit, and I'm going to turn the range on to a little over medium high and get it nice and hot. I want to get it up to about 350 degrees. I want to get any of the remainder of flour off of these slices of eggplant. I'll throw them in a little sifter just to get any of that last bit off of there, and then in batches, start frying this eggplant. So you're going to want to fry these. You're probably going to need to flip them about halfway through. You want them to be just start to get a little bit of brown on them. Definitely not burnt, but just a nice deep beige or golden brown. You should probably only take about 2 minutes per batch, maybe a little longer, but you want to kind of maintain a pretty high heat so that they don't absorb a lot of that olive oil. And as soon as they are done, I'm going to pull them out and put them on this rack to drain. All of our eggplant is done frying. It looks nice, beautiful, golden brown, and it's time to assemble the eggplant parmesan. Okay, it's time to assemble the parmesan now. First thing I'm going to do is just crush just a bit of tomato on there. So there's going to be a relatively small amount of tomato in this dish. You don't want it to be drowning. I'm going to add a few slices of my eggplant. I'm going to add a little more tomato on that, and I'm just crushing by hand as I go. I don't mind if there's some bigger pieces of tomato in there too. I'm going to add a couple slices of fresh mozzarella. Kind of just scatter that around. And then I'm going to tear a few pieces of basil onto each layer. And I like relatively large pieces of all of this, so you kind of get a lot of that flavor in each bite. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to sprinkle each layer with a little bit of salt. And so then I'm going to repeat that and keep building this until I've used up all my eggplant, all my tomato, and all my mozzarella. And then this very last layer, I'm going to finish with grated Parmesan. And I'm not going to be shy with that. I preheated my oven to 325. I'm going to pop this in there. 30, 40 minutes. You want it to be bubbling on the outside. Cheese definitely melted, maybe starting to brown just a little bit, and it's ready. You know, this is going to be a very straightforward dish. Just very eggplant with just that little hint of tomato. I'm going to just cut a little slice out of it now. Pretty simple, very reliant on excellent tomatoes and excellent basil also. Let's just get in there, One of my favorite vegetables. One of my favorite dishes. Kind of a process to make, not super hard, but a lot of fun to eat, and kind of, I think, elevates eggplant a bit. You get a little bit of crispy eggplant, crunchy eggplant on the top, and the rest of it has that, cooked, soft eggplant texture to it. Of course, you're getting the richness of the olive oil, also the richness of the mozzarella, and that nice high note from fresh basil, little acidity from the tomato, but very simple, which I quite enjoy. I'm Jesse Griffiths from Daidue. Hope to see you again soon.
Nice. All right. Cut. Well.